We were going to talk about the slow miracle. You've been carrying this extra weight physically, emotionally, spiritually for years. So have I. And some days it just feels like we're never going to be free of it. We've tried every plan, every diet, every reset, every trick that has promised transformation. And there's still more out there, and they can be tempting. You've measured your meals, you've counted calories, you've done weight loss shakes, maybe even tried some supplements and prayed for the day that you would wake up and all of a sudden be thin. But maybe the real miracle isn't losing weight quickly, because really, you lose it quickly. Have you really learned how to keep it off? So maybe the miracle is in learning to stand up straight again, one steady, intentional choice at a time. There's a story in Luke 13 about a woman who had been bent over for 18 years, unable to stand upright, living with a limitation that shaped how she moved, how she saw the world, and how the world saw her. And then one day, Jesus called her over and said, "Woman, you are set free from your ailment." And the moment he touched her, she stood straight up and began praising God. We long for that same kind of miracle, don't we? Instant relief from years of weight, exhaustion, and struggle. We want to wake up one morning and have that heaviness gone. We want that moment of healing, the freedom, the after picture. But just like that woman's long years of being bent over, the weight that we carry, whether it's on our bodies, in our thoughts, or in our hearts, it doesn't always disappear in a single touch. True freedom often unfolds gradually. It happens as we begin to trust the process. One act of nourishment, one moment of awareness, one kind decision to ourselves at a time. Let's imagine your body as a garden. For years, it may have survived on very little water, poor soil, and intermittent sunlight. You, the gardener, have worked hard, watering just enough, trimming only when necessary, measuring progress by the inch. Some plants have flourished and others have withered. And now you've decided you're going to feed your garden properly with nutrient rich soil, steady watering, and consistent light. But instead of instant blooms, you notice something else happening. The soil shifts, the roots begin stretching, and the plants start asking for more water. And your first thought could be panic. Am I doing too much? Am I overfeeding it? Will I ruin the progress that I've already made? But the truth is, the garden's not failing, it's waking up. The roots are reclaiming their life. The soil is learning what abundance feels like again. And that's your body too. When you begin nourishing it consistently rather than restricting it out of fear, it takes time for your body to trust you again. And you might even feel that hunger returns in ways that feel unfamiliar. Your fatigue may ebb and flow. Change might appear slow or even invisible. But healing is happening beneath the surface. Your job is not perfection. Your job is consistency. Every balanced meal, every deep breath before eating, every moment that you respond to hunger without fear, these are the small, faithful actions that nurture your internal garden back to health. Now, there's another image that we can consider, and that's a stubborn vine. Imagine a vine that has wrapped itself tightly around the fence for years. It twists around every post, holding firm to that structure that supports it. And over time, it begins to be almost look like it's almost impossible to see where the vine ends and where the fence begins. And that's what lifelong long held habits, diet rules, and emotional patterns can be like. They intertwine with our identity until we can't separate me from my struggle. When you start untangling them, choosing to eat when you're hungry, or allowing yourself to rest without guilt, it can feel unsettling, almost wrong. The old vine resists being pulled away, kind of like the critter brain. But with gentle, persistent effort, it begins to loosen. Each small act of nourishment, each boundary set with kindness, each new habit of self-respect is like releasing one more coil of the vine. Freedom doesn't come from yanking the vine off all at once. It comes from patient, mindful untangling. Our culture praises the urgency, the fast results, the drastic changes, the visible proof. But the real transformation happens in quiet consistency, the kind that often feels uneventful. When I think about where I was before to where I am now, it's been a long time. And it wasn't this overnight happening. It was almost uneventful, where it just happened a little bit at a time. Consistency is showing up for yourself even when and even if the scale doesn't move. It's choosing balanced meals instead of skipping breakfast. It's going for a short walk because you know that your body deserves movement, not punishment. Each consistent act is a vote for the person that you are becoming. Urgency says, I have to fix myself right now. But the consistency says, I'm learning to care for myself faithfully and without fear. So, what's really happening in your body? When you commit to nourishing your body instead of controlling it, subtle but powerful shifts will start to happen. Hunger will no longer mean that you're failing. Feeling hungry is not proof that you've done something wrong. It's your body communicating to you after years of being silenced by diets or restriction. When I first started losing weight, I realized that I was never hungry enough to know what hunger pains felt like. And so I started feeling hunger pains. And that ended up being a good thing. That was something exciting. That was something that was telling me that my metabolism was starting to come alive again. And internal stability will begin to return. Balanced meals are going to teach your hormones and your nervous system that they can trust consistency. You're rebuilding safety within your body, and that's going to take a little bit of time. The progress becomes multidimensional. So you'll notice you're not having binges, you're having fewer energy crashes, calmer responses to hunger. These are the victories that we need to be celebrating. These are the victories that scale can't measure. They're proof that we are regulating our emotions, regulating our eating, and it's not a sign of regression. It's not a sign of failure. Nutrition ends up becoming a form of self-love. When you're tracking calories and going in a calorie deficit, of course, a calorie deficit is what we need to do. But when you're constantly tracking calories, it can feel like punishment. It can feel like you're on the defensive. But if you can start tracking the nutrients in your food, like protein, fiber, and vegetables, then that focuses on what your body needs rather than what it lacks. It transforms eating from fear to respect for yourself. And every time you choose nourishment over punishment, then you're planting seeds of healing that are going to bear fruit in time. So, what if success isn't about being smaller, but instead it's about being steadier? Instead of measuring your worth by the scale, let's look at other success markers. You respond to your hunger cues calmly. You eat 3 balanced meals most days. You move your body because it feels good, not because you have to, not because you're punishing yourself for being a certain weight. And you no longer spiral into shame when you eat more than planned. You trust yourself enough to experiment and to learn. These are the quiet wins that signal real change, the kind that lasts. So here's some practical ways to nurture your garden. Track your energy and mood, not just your weight. Notice how being consistent is affecting your focus, your sleep, and your emotions. These are more honest indicators of progress than just the numbers on the scale. And think of hunger as data, not danger. Keep a hunger log. When hunger appears, log how strong it feels and what preceded it. What was your previous meal? How long ago did you eat that meal? And then you're going to start to notice some patterns. Observe these patterns without judgment, because curiosity is what's going to keep you in control. Celebrate calm decisions. Each time you pause before eating, choose balance, or give yourself grace, you are strengthening new neural pathways of self-trust. And experiment gently. Adjust your meal timing or add an extra serving of protein or vegetables if you find that you're feeling hungry too soon after eating. View each experiment as a way to learn how your body responds best. And as you know, I have been experimenting for, well, now we're looking at 3 months. I've been writing everything down, tracking every bit of food that goes in my mouth. And because of that tracking, I'm starting to notice certain patterns, certain foods that last longer than other foods, certain foods that keep me regular, certain foods that maybe make me feel bloated and give me less energy, and other foods that make me feel more energetic. View each experiment as a way to learn how your body responds best. And then build a safety net for real life. Plan flexible strategies for social events or emotional triggers. Freedom is not about avoiding situations. It's about knowing that you can handle them without fear. And the only way to do that is through practice and through planning ahead, building that safety net. Because social events are real life, and we want to be able to live a real life. Healing, like faith, is not very often a one-time event. It's a relationship built on trust, on patience, and repetition. The woman in Luke 13 didn't just stand up straight physically. She reclaimed her dignity, her confidence, and her freedom. In the same way, every time you nourish yourself consistently, you're standing a little taller too. You're breaking old agreements with shame and replacing them with trust. Sometimes we think we're waiting for a miracle when the miracle is already happening quietly, steadily, as we show up day after day. Every balanced meal, every compassionate thought, every moment that you choose curiosity over criticism. Each one is a divine act of restoration, your own slow miracle unfolding. There's going to be plateaus, times when nothing seems to move. But plateaus are not punishment. It's your body recalibrating. Your body is integrating the stability that you've been creating. So instead of pushing harder, Pause and notice, how is your energy compared to before? Are you calmer around food? Are your habits more consistent? These are signs that your garden is rooted, your vine is loosening, your body is standing taller. The outer change will come as the inner work continues. The woman in Luke 13 didn't earn her miracle through effort. She simply responded to the invitation to stand. And when she did, she praised God. That's what this journey is really about. It's not about earning your worth through willpower or control. It's about responding to that quiet invitation to care for yourself, to nourish yourself, and to believe that your body is not broken. It's simply waiting to be tended to with love and consistency. Every time you choose nourishment over neglect, faith over fear, consistency over urgency, then you're standing up straighter physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You are the gardener, the vine untangler, the woman being restored. Your healing is not something you chase, it's something you nurture day by day. So I want you to keep watering, keep feeding, keep believing, because your miracle is already in motion.